government has to act fast. Dahil, di ba, may saying tayo, aanhimpayin mo, pagpatay na yung kabayo, at kayo, maiipitan kayo ng mahal na produkto. While ngayon, kailangan ng mga Pilipino, kailangan ng mga drivers natin, yung murang fuel. Dapat, kaya, we have to release it to them while they still need it. Kaya nga lagi kong sinasabi, politically, magandang tignan, nagbibigay ng pera politically, but it's not a solution to the driver's problem. I had a consultation meeting with bus, jeepney drivers. Alam mo yung 6'5", hindi na sila bumabiyahe. Kasi nga, pang isang araw na full tank, pinapanggastos na lang nila yun sa sarili nila. But yung gusto natin mangyari, gusto natin bumiyahe yung jeep, bumiyahe yung bus, bumiyahe yung taxi para may masakyan yung mga kababayan natin. Pero that doesn't happen kasi nga sa taas ng cost of fuel, kukunin na lang nila yung ayuda pero hindi rin sila bumabiyahe. That's why it's not a solution pagdating dito sa problema yung pagbigay ng 6'5". And government has to realize it by now. Politically, pag eleksyon, siguro maganda yun. Pero malayo pa yung eleksyon. We need to find a solution to this existing problem that we have now. As we all know from the presentation of Secretary Garin, ang problema natin is not actually how to source the supply. Merong supply. The problem, it's a price problem and it's a vessel scheduling problem. Yan yung dalawang problema eh. There is always a supply, pero at what cost? Yun yung problema. Now, January 2026, ang unemployment rate was 5.8%. Noong February, it went down to 5.1%. Ano yung driver ng decline ng unemployment rate? Largely gains by administrative support services, transportation, and delivery services. When we say delivery services, both parcel at saka food delivery, saka yung mga drivers natin. Now, as we all know, if prices of fuel increase, affected lahat. Transportation cost, pati yung cost of logistics cost, tumataas rin yan. Everything is affected. Now, dun muna tayo sa mga driver. Balik tayo, ano yung concrete step na ginagawa natin to help the drivers muna? And I'm not just talking about the PUV, PUJ drivers, the bus drivers, hindi lang yon. Kasi yung mga truck drivers, kanina sinabi ni Congressman Dagook, pati yung mga ferry, mga bangka, affected lahat niyan eh. Ano ba yung ginawa natin aside from yung ayuda na 6,500 pesos? Which, mind you, 6,500 pesos is, sa ngayon, with the prices of diesel now, halos isang full tank lang yon if you need 40 liters a day. So aside from that, who will answer?
Okay. Mr. Chair, as also asked earlier, we have messaged Secretary Barre as far as this. They will submit the target beneficiaries as to yung mga ayuda na binibigay natin sa transport sector, not just only for the transport sector. I understand, kasama po yan sa programa nila, the land, air, and water and air. So I guess that right now, what they are prioritizing is for the mostly vulnerable one, which is sa mga jeepneys natin, where is the land sector.
Pero di ba, sir, malaki problema natin dyan eh. In fact, hanggang ngayon, madaming mga drivers, na umaangal, na hindi sila nakakuha ng ayuda ng 6,500 pesos. And yung targeted beneficiaries natin, may problema. Wala nga, LTFRB does not have a list of drivers. They have a list of operators. Bus operators, bus drivers, jeepney drivers, meron silang listahan. Pero wala silang listahan ng driver. Ang kailangan mabigyan ng benepisyo, yung driver, hindi yung operator. So that's one problem. Kaya hindi matapos-tapos yung pagbibigay. I think, kung gusto natin targeted approach, let's give fuel subsidy. Pero kailangan i-implement na yung fuel subsidy at hindi lang yung 6,500 pesos. It has to affect yung pump prices, which now brings me, ito, buti na lang, andito si Secretary Go. You know, inapura kami sa Congress to approve the emergency powers for the President with regards to yung fuel so that they could decide both on excise and VAT. In fact, with the high cost of fuel now, may windfall yung gobyerno sa VAT. Isipin mo, dumoble na more than double na yung presyo. And we're imposing parang almost 12% on VAT. Ang laki ng windfall. Ang kailangan lang natin desisyonan, yung excise na 6 pesos on diesel, 10 pesos on gasoline, kung isususpend natin pansamantala. Kanina may listahan ng mga bansa who had lower fuel. Most of those countries, dahil government subsidized the fuel. Vietnam, March 1 yung gere. Vietnam by March 26 decided zero taxes on fuel. Tinanggal nila. Pero tayo kahit nawala yung excise, walang nawala sa gobyerno dahil nag-compute tayo ng annual budget natin based dun sa maaaring koleksyon when prices of fuel was at an average 60 pesos. So walang mawawala and we're not saying that we suspend it for a year or 6 months. 'Di ba? Bakit hindi muna natin i-suspend for a month or 2 para hindi masyadong ganun ka-effect? Go.
Could you use,
Pinatayo lang ka
the,
rin
could
ng
you use
mic.
the other mic, please?
Parang minority.
Hello.
Time to go home. Hello, yan. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, I think the law that was passed, RA 123, that you passed on reducing taxes on oil, actually only cover excise taxes, not VAT. The DBCC met earlier this week, and we have already presented our recommendation to the President. The timing are as follows, After the President signed the bill into law, I believe there was a clause that you had put in that it can take effect 15 days after it is signed into law. So that date, we're still trying to figure out if it's April 10
April 12.
or 13. Yeah, we're actually, you see, you have another date po, Mr. Mr. Chair. We actually are debating internally whether it's April 10 or April 13, and you have a different date, April 12. So the recommendations of the DBCC have been put forward to the President, and I believe an announcement will be made on that date, whether that's April 10 or 12 or 13.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Well, that's very nice to know. Actually, we filed several bills. Kagaya ako, I filed 2 bills. One on the suspension of excise, another on the suspension of VAT. But ang gusto namin kung ano yung pagbibigyan ng gobyerno natin And sinabi sa amin, mas acceptable excise na lang. That's why yun na lang ang inapruban natin. But it has to be 2 ways Kasi we always ask the private sector, hindi, baba nyo yung margin nyo o huwag kayong kumita. But government also has to sacrifice. Okay sa atin na sabihin sa jeepney driver, sa bus driver, sa taxi driver, teka muna, kahit mataas na yung fuel cost, huwag nyo taasan yung pamasahe. Kasi maapektuhan yung mananakay. Pero ayaw ng gobyerno na magano rin, to also take a hit, na mabawasan rin sila ng konting kita. As I mentioned, walang mababawas sa gobyerno dahil nagdoble na yung presyo ng fuel at yung VAT would cover whatever will be lost doon sa excise. But I'm very happy to know na hopefully yung suggestion nyo is to suspend temporarily yung excise at saka yung excise on fuel. Hopefully, yun, because we need it. And well, not only we, the Filipinos need it because everything is affected. Now, pupunta ako sa PNOC-EC. It's good that PNOC has imported your own diesel. First, it will help the supply in the market. Secondly, na ngayon, alam nyo na kung magkano yung presyo. Hindi nyo na kailangan tanungin, hindi, kailangan i-unbundle nyo yan. Kasi alam nyo na kung ano yung presyo. Nagtataka nga, marami, yung sa industry, nagtataka, Bakit tinatanong nyo pa yung private sector kung how to unbundle it, while all the while, alam naman ng customs. Customs has all the data regarding yung fuel cost and everything. You just need to ask customs. But at least now alam nyo na. My concern, sinabi ni Yusek Sales kanina, that this fuel is to help targeted sectors, which is good. Yung mga public utility vehicle drivers natin, which is good. But up to now, wala pa yata kayong IRR on how to do it. Now, the problem is this. And mind you, this will be your problem. 2 araw na, kung sinusundan nyo yung maps, 2 araw na mababa yung maps. With the declaration of a ceasefire na 2 weeks, I suspect on the succeeding days, bababa pa yan. Baka yung cost ng diesel nyo, mawala na yung advantage dahil hanggang ngayon, hindi nyo pa nire-release habang mataas yung presyo. Pagka nag-overtake na because of yung reduction sa maps at bumaba na rin yung presyo, pag nirelease nyo yan sa market, wala na rin advantage unless ibebenta nyo na lugi na kayo. And that is something that you do not want to do dahil gusto nyo pang mag-reorder. So, kailan nyo i-decide na, uy, ibigay na natin dun sa targeted sector bago pa yung presyo, alam nyo naman yung volatility ng presyo, habulin kung magkano nyo binili.
That's a very important question. Please answer that. That's been being asked kanina pa.
PNOC? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, na-finalize na yung guidelines DOE on the principles, and that PNOC-EC will make the contract with the oil company that will distribute. And this afternoon, there's a meeting with the oil companies on rolling out the targeted ones where you'll have specific pumps in gasoline stations dispensing the PNOC diesel at a discounted price. And it's true, Mr. Chair, what Congressman Bong Suntay has said, that there is, of course, the price risk. And then, when PNOC-EC came into this, so parang nakita niya yung private, yung environment, how the private oil company operates. And I think one of those things as well is yung uncertainty ng price movement. Kaya yung iba, nagwi-withhold din ng order, yung private, no? Kasi you are then taking the price risk kung biglang bumaba yung presyo. And na-realize, and it's now, because PNOC has bought 4 cargos, may dadating ngayong Friday, yung nauna, of course, we already know the price of that cargo. There's a second coming sa Friday, and then next week, another one, and then shortly thereafter, another cargo. So, nandun yung price risk na at the time na i-release sa market, dahil market-driven ang price po natin, baka mas mahal na yung binili ni PNOC kesa sa nasa market. That is, when we recommended to do this, that was a price risk that we did recognize. Of course, the initial thinking was, nag-hold back yung private, we should show that we want to maintain yung inventory. Nandito yan. Ang una nakita nung pumasok po sa merkado at bumili ang EC was that merong available na produkto. Ibebenta sa'yo. Ang problema was the price. So, yung sinasabi na magkukulang ang supply, na testing natin na hindi naman, may mga nagbebenta. Ang taas lang po ng presyo.
Yes, that's true. Mr. Chair, to you. Yeah, kaya nga yun yung sinasabi ko. The problem is not a supply problem. There will always be a supply. It's a price problem and it's a scheduling problem. And because price is very volatile, babalik tayo. Dahil I suspect kung ang binili nyong diesel would be between 120 or 130 pesos per liter, then kung hindi nyo pa i-release yan, malulugi na kayo. Dahil ang maps ngayon, yung average maps ngayon, siguro nasa 120. Pagka bumaba pa, after yung average yan, after the next few days, at patuloy na bumaba, then it will be lower. Definitely next week there should be a
Well,
price adjustment reduction. Maiipitan kayo ng mahal na produkto and baka mahirapan na kayong mag-reorder ulit dahil actually you didn't want to sell at a loss eh. You wanted it to be a self-subsidizing effort, concern. So, if you do not come up with yung inyong policy and release it, mamumroblema kayo.
yes, sir. That's ongoing. Ang target, ma-release na kagad next week. As I mentioned earlier, may meeting ngayon sa Office of the Executive Secretary with the oil companies. So, ito na lang. And then we will start releasing sa targeted sectors yung diesel.
Okay.
And, sir, with regard dun sa, yun nga, yung concern, dahil nagkaroon ng ceasefire, baka magbababa na yung presyo. So, may exposure nga. That's true, and we did recognize that, but we decided to intervene to try and stabilize yung supply ng diesel sa atin. That is very critical. So ang current average itong 3 days of 2 days of this week for diesel sa MAPS po ay 263. This is down from yung average last week na mga, if I'm not mistaken, mga 275 ang average ng diesel per barrel, which is about 159 liters. So yun po yung pricing na, yun ang price ng commodity as discovered by MAPS. Actual sales yun yung kinukuha nila. And then, yung sinasabi na premium is, ito ang
60.
MAPS. Ang current premium last week was $60 over MAPS. And then, yung freight insurance nag-a-add up. Yun ang system ng pricing.
Yeah. Oo. Well, naiintindihan ko naman yun. I'm just saying that government has to act fast. Dahil, di ba, may saying tayo, aanhimpayin mo, pagpatay na yung kabayo, at kayo, maiipitan kayo ng mahal na produkto. While ngayon, kailangan ng mga Pilipino, kailangan ng mga drivers natin, yung murang fuel. Kaya, we have to release it to them while they still need it. Kaya nga lagi kong sinasabi, politically, magandang tignan, nagbibigay ng pera politically, but it's not a solution to the driver's problem. I had a consultation meeting with bus, jeepney drivers. Alam mo yung 6'5", hindi na sila bumabiyahe. Kasi nga, pang isang araw na full tank, pinapanggastos na lang nila yun sa sarili nila. But yung gusto natin mangyari, gusto natin bumiyahe yung jeep, bumiyahe yung bus, bumiyahe yung taxi para may masakyan yung mga kababayan natin. Pero that doesn't happen kasi nga sa taas ng cost of fuel, kukunin na lang nila yung ayuda pero hindi rin sila bumabiyahe. That's why it's not a solution pagdating dito sa problema yung pagbigay ng 6'5". And government has to realize it by now. Politically, pag eleksyon, siguro maganda yun. Pero malayo pa yung eleksyon. We need to find a solution to this existing problem that we have now. Now, another thing, lagi kasi natin pinapag-usapan yung, pinag-uusapan natin yung yung Iran and yung designation natin as a non-hostile country. Okay yon, maganda yan, non-hostile tayo. Okay yon. How does it benefit us? Pagdating sa, kunyari, sa price of oil na dinadala sa atin, how? Ako na sasagot. It doesn't benefit us.
Sir,
O sige.
if I may. Kasi ang situation naman talaga, isa lang ang ating refinery. So, isa lang, and it's private, and siya lang ang nagpaparating ng crude oil sa
Yeah.
Philippines. So, ang mga vessel na ginagamit ay contracted. So, but I think my understanding dun sa na-reach nating agreement with DFA is yung energy supplies ng Philippines coming from exiting Strait of Hormuz ay ginagarantiyan din
No.
ng Iran po.
Okay, iklaro ko yan. They allow the flag carriers of non-hostile countries to pass. The Philippines, even Petron, does not have a VLCC, a very large crude carrier. So, yan, inaano yan, nirerentahan o inaano yung vessel kinukuha sa ibang bansa. And they carry the flag where the vessel is registered. So, so ano yan, hindi rin kailangan yung registration of ng country nung vessel na yon should be classified as non-hostile. Kasi pati yung sa Filipino seafarers, kung yung barko naman o Philippine registry hindi dumadaan sa Strait of Hormuz, kung pasahero lang sila, kunyari seaman lang natin sila na ibang barko rin yung sinasakyan, it doesn't hindi naman tinatanong Pinoy ba yung mga nakasakay sa barko. Sige, Director
Mr.
Dino.
Chair,
In conclusion,
I
yes,
think
please.
on
Go ahead.
two parts. Number one, because we realize that of the 20 million barrels per day exiting the Persian Gulf, the one that has continued to be exported are only supply from Saudi Arabia of around 6 million, 7 million barrels, and around 500,000 from Qatar, United Arab Emirates. So the problem is there's the 11 to 14 million supply, supply distraction, as you may call it, because it's not being exported because of the Strait of Hormuz blockage. So I think the good thing that happened with the announcement of 2-week period is that other countries like Kuwait will be able to resume. So
No, I agree. Na okay, may 2 week na ceasefire. Ang sinasabi ko,
Okay.
kahit i-designate tayo as non-hostile, crude-wise o price-wise ng crude does not affect the Philippines. We just have to realize that Although, kasi most of the crude that we buy are dito sa atin, only Petron buys crude oil. And everyone else buys refined fuel. And yung refinery comes from what? The biggest would be China, Korea, yung biggest refinery. We buy some from Singapore, from Thailand, but ano na yon, doon na yon, hindi na dumadaan sa Hormuz yun pagka sa refinery ng China mo kunin. Basta, well, yun lang naman yung tanong ko. It's just clarifications and a reminder that if you want to help our drivers, public utility drivers, with a cheaper, more affordable fuel, then you have to do it now. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Congressman Bong Suntay.